Hi, my name is Leila Osman, and I'm a Girl Scout of Troop 1073 in East Meadow, New York. My Girl Scout Gold Award, Brand New, Brand You, is all about personal branding. When we think about brands, immediately what comes to our mind is market brands. Popular brands such as Nike, Adidas, Victoria's Secret, and a lot of other things, not limited to just clothing, but companies in general. So their logos all represent what they stand for and can show us just how our brands are representations of us and what others see in us as well. So what exactly is a brand? Your brand is what comes to people's minds when your name pops up in their head or when they see you. It's the first impression and the words that are associated with you. So when you first meet someone, they might think, oh, this person seems friendly. Oh, this person seems nice. That's a brand right there. Now at this point you might be asking, what exactly makes up a brand? Well, let's break it down to 3 pieces: communication, your appearance, and your actions. First up is communication. One of the primary things that make up your brand is the way that you communicate with others. When you talk to others, the words, the tone, and pitch that you use are all elements that brand you. Nowadays, texting is also a big component in your brand. Texting improperly or using different kinds of slang brand you, depending on what you may say. The photos you send as well can also brand you. In addition to texting, social media plays a big role in defining who you are to the outside world. Common applications such as Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter are all used by today's youth to advertise their brands, good or bad. There are many issues with social media involving brands that I will get into later on in the slideshow. Aside from how you communicate, your appearance can be deemed as the first component to your brand. Before your words are even heard, before you even utter a sentence, your appearance speaks for you. It says things to other people about yourself that you don't even have to say. When you first meet someone, a first impression is made in as little as 7 seconds. The expression, "don't judge a book by its cover," would be nice in an alternate world, but the reality of it all is that all of us judge each other. It's a part of our human nature to judge whether or not someone is dangerous to us. For the next exercise, I will have up on the screen several images of different people with different brands. Your job is to brainstorm a word or more about what comes to your mind when you see these people. Okay, now I'm going to put up the same pictures, but this time there will be several words that you may have thought of. For the first picture, the first word that may have come to your mind is emo or goth. The reason why we think of this is because the brand emo often means, dark colors, dyed hair, and piercings for some people. So when we see this young girl with the same attributes, we brand her that way. Same thing with the boy in this picture. His Letterman jacket and football brand him to be a jock. Even though he might not be a jock, that's the kind of brand that is associated with the things that he's wearing. When first seeing this picture, words that come to mind are awkward or maybe a nerd. Her braces, glasses, and awkward smile all brand her that way, although that might not actually be true. Simply by playing video games, people may make the assumption that maybe this boy is antisocial. Once again, none of this has to be true. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what they're like. So we all brand just based on appearance, which is what I'm trying to show you now, is that even just by looking at a picture, we all brand. The girl in this photo can be branded as fashionable and confident because of her style and the clothes that she is wearing. So she could be the most insecure person in the world, but her appearance to other people makes her look confident. In this last picture, the seductive look and clothing that this girl is wearing brands her to be maybe conceited, maybe she's popular. Again, this may not be true about her, but this is the brand that she gives off. Now, another component involved in your brand is how you style yourself. Style is not just your clothes, but involves how you style your hair, if you wear jewelry or not, and accessories, as well as makeup. Those are some ways that girls style themselves. Now, I'm sure it's harder to think of ways that boys style themselves, but things really are not that different. The only difference is that boys may not wear makeup. When it comes to makeup, how much you wear, when you wear it, and the colors you choose to wear also make up your brand. Makeup can be a big part of your appearance and therefore a big part of your brand. In the photo to the left, you see a girl with an all-natural look. The girl in the middle is wearing a simple amount of makeup, and the girl on the right is wearing an extreme amount. Now, you may be observant and realize this already, but these photos are all the same girl, Taylor Momsen. Now, the point of this is to show you that one person can change their brand just by changing something as little as their makeup. You can also see that the picture all the way on the right, she's wearing a lot of dark colors, and she's obviously trying to make a statement. And just by her makeup, we can see that maybe she has an attitude. We get all of this from just looking at her makeup. Just remember, for an everyday look, less is more. How you accessorize may also seem like a minor detail, but it is a big factor in your appearance and brand. Accessorizing a lot can brand you as maybe fashionable and trendy. Not accessorizing at all can brand you as simple. The kinds of accessories you wear can also brand you too. A watch from Macy's will brand you differently than a Rolex watch. We associate Rolex with a very high-end brand for maybe people that are wealthy. So that can brand you as well, just by looking at someone's wrist. Now, the way you act is extremely important to your brand. Your actions speak much louder than the things that you can say. Body language is what you do with your body, facial expressions, body posture, and how you carry yourself in general. So if I'm walking in the hallway and I happen to see someone that I know, they're walking with their head down, posture's not that great. Just based off her body language, I can tell what kind of state of being she's in. Meanwhile, if I walk and I strut down the hallway, people might think, oh, she's confident, or maybe, oh, she's cocky. See, brands can be different for different people, and they can be seen differently. But most of the time, you can assume the same. So just take a look at all the different words you can come up with just based on body language. Your body language includes little things such as the way you walk, chewing gum while someone is talking, eye rolling, and eye contact in general. So when you talk to someone, or if they're telling you a story, and you're chewing your gum, rolling your eyes, see, maybe you don't think that they see you. Maybe you think that you're being subtle. But people are very observant, and people will see you do this, and they will be very offended. They will think that you're rude, and now you're branded as rude. Beware of your actions, because actions speak louder than words. How does your brand affect the present and future? How does your brand affect you? I broke it down into 3 segments. I broke it down into what a brand is, but how does this affect your life? So your life now. Your social life. Whatever your brand is, that is what kind of people you will attract. Whether or not you have a big circle of friends or a small circle of friends. You are your friends. You are the people that you hang around. That's because you want to surround yourself with people that you like, people that's brands you can relate to. Oftentimes, you have the same brand or close to the same brand as your friend. I mean, how many friends have you met through a sport? How many friends have you met maybe through theater? Whatever you do, whatever your hobby is, you can find people there and you have, along the lines, the same brand. So, beware of who you're friends with because they can influence you greatly and change your brand. Your school life. So you might not be in school, but if you are, your brand also affects your school life and the clubs and groups you belong to. Mathletes has a brand. Mathletes, you have to be smart. You have to be willing to learn. So does cheerleading. Cheerleading, you have to be peppy, you have to be athletic. There's a brand for every club. There's brands all around. Birds of a feather flock together. So, once again, you hang around people that are like you. Your life in the future. Part-time jobs. Now, if you're maybe younger, your brand can affect your employment options. So, in your case, your first job. If you wanted to be a babysitter, for instance, parents are usually looking for someone that looks responsible, patient, reliable. If you're going to be interviewed by this parent and your phone is on you, they're going to watch your body language and they're going to determine whether or not they want you to be their babysitter. Because why would they want you, if you're on your phone, looking at your phone? Why would they choose you to be their babysitter? Because if you're not paying attention to what they have to say at a job interview, then why would you pay attention to their child? You're not going to. So that's very worrisome for them, and you might not end up getting the job. So you have to be very conscious of the body language and just, your brand in general when you go to apply for jobs, not just part-time jobs, jobs in general. This presentation was made for kids ages 11 to 18. So college is in their future, and it might be behind you. You might be in college. I'm not sure who's watching. But when it is time to apply to colleges, these colleges are going to start to look for breadcrumbs about your brand. Whether it's how you did in school or your digital footprint, colleges make assumptions based on your brand as they see it. A digital footprint is your online activity. Anything that you do online stays online. I was born in the year 2000, so technology was just starting to become really, really intense. For the younger generations, they grew up with tablets in their little baby hands. Their digital footprints are going to be so much more extensive than ours or your parents or whomever, because ever since you were young, you're going to have all that activity done on the internet recorded. You're going to have all your pictures stored. You're going to have every single comment you've ever commented on anyone's post on Facebook, Instagram. It's all recorded, and that's a scary thing. So now when you go to apply to colleges, they're going to want to not just look at your resume, because anybody can make anything look good on a resume. Your resume is the positive things about you. What they're going to look for is the thing that's going to differentiate you from another student. And that's going to be the things that they don't see on your resume. They're going to look for your brand. They're going to look for the brand that you put out there on the internet. So they're going to type in your name, maybe to Instagram, maybe Facebook, and then they're going to see your pictures, and they're going to determine whether or not the content is appropriate or not. What you post online, it does matter, because let's say you're in every extracurricular, and your average is a 97. You're an A+ student. They're going to go on your page, and they're going to see all of this stuff. Let's say that maybe you made a few mistakes, and, you posted it online. Colleges are going to see this, and they're not going to want someone that, posts like that, because that's not going to be a part of their brand. Harvard's not going to want that, So you have to be very wary, especially the language that you use, the captions that you choose to caption your photos. Those all can brand you as well, those little things. So the internet is not a private place. Whatever you put out there, it stays out there forever. Don't post anything that you're going to regret when you're older. Your career. Similar to colleges, recruiters do heavy research on you and your brand and determine whether or not you're a good fit for them. During your interview, your body language brands you as well. Crossing your legs, arms, chewing gum, and eye contact are all things to be conscious about during your interview. So just the same as colleges, recruiters are going to brand you as well. If you walk in there and you're in a suit, you look like you're engaged, that's a good brand for that job, wherever you're applying, if you're working in corporate. And all different jobs have different brands. If you want to be a nail artist, that brand might be different than working on Wall Street. So different brands have different requirements. So just make sure that you are branded in the way that would be appropriate for the workplace setting that you want to be in. Once again, you don't want past mistakes to define you and your future. What happens in the past does not stay in the past anymore. Everything is recorded, and everything can come back to haunt you. Marriage. Your brand attracts your partner to you. The way you present yourself and pieces of your history affect you and your choices. If you've ever heard anybody say, "What's your type?" that's just another word for brand. What type of person, what type of brand are you looking for in the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life? Some people might say loyal, funny, tall, dark, and handsome. That's a brand right there. All of these things, they're brands. And you look for a certain brand, and similar to colleges and careers, your brand will define your future and its possible outcomes. You also want to make sure that you put the right brand out there to attract the right person, because you will be with this person for the rest of your life. So at this point, I want you to think about this. Do you know what your brand is? And if not, what do you want your brand to be? What words and feelings do you want to be associated with your name? What words and feelings do you want to come to people's minds when they think of your name, when they think of you? You want positive words. You don't want derogatory comments. You don't want snide remarks when they talk about you. You don't want to hear, ew. That's not something that you want. So when you think about branding yourself, make sure that you have a couple of things in mind and try to pursue the actions that follow those adjectives. How can you make your brand stick? So you have to be brave enough so you can own your brand, real enough that it's true to you, accepting so that you're comfortable when you embody it, noble so that you're genuine and unique to yourself, and dignified so that you'll always hold your head up high and never give away your dignity, not for anybody. Because brands are moldable, brands can change, and people can make you change. It's going to be inevitable. Everybody changes, but it's your choice whether you want that to be for better or for worse. Once again, be aware of what you put out on the internet. I can't stress it enough. In our day and age, we have so much technology that we just don't know what to do with. And we don't realize that, nothing's private anymore. Absolutely nothing. I mean, if you meet somebody at a coffee shop, in 5 minutes you could probably find their online profiles and find out so much about them. You can see that, oh, they have a sister, oh, they play soccer, oh, they like this, and that's actually a really scary thing. Watch what you wear. So this is just common sense. Make sure that what you put on in the morning is what you want people to see. Just watch what you wear. Make sure that you're not too provocative. So make sure that you're portraying your brand in your clothing as well. Watch who you hang around. Your friends are one of the biggest influences on your character. If you surround yourself with people that make you feel like you're not going to ever be good enough, you're never going to grow. You're only going to get, less confident and feel bad about yourself. Feel like you have to change and morph into them, which is not what you want to do. So just be careful because they will influence you. So just make sure that you hang around people that only make you a better person. Say no to drugs. Even if people might be doing drugs, you can be labeled as a druggie, pothead, etc. And that's now going to be a part of your brand. I'm not sure if that's the first thing you want people to think of when they hear your name, because that's a really derogatory thing to be called, and it can take over your entire brand. Sure, you might be a good person, you might be kind, nice, thoughtful, but if you do drugs, people are gonna brand you, and that's now a part of your brand, and it's really hard to not make that stick. So just in order to avoid that, just don't do drugs. Follow a positive role model. Now, it doesn't have to be Michelle Obama. It can be your favorite athlete. It can be your mom, your dad, brother, aunt, whatever you want. Anybody that's traits you admire greatly. Anybody that you want to emulate. Anyone that's brand you admire a lot and that you want to, imitate. So just make sure that, you have someone that maybe if you ever feel lost, you can look up to for guidance. So remember, be proud of who you are and what you stand for. Own your brand because you are your brand, and you should love yourself and your brand. You shouldn't feel like you have to put on a mask every morning and pretend to be a certain way because you're just lying to yourself. So just be true to yourself. Own your brand, flaunt it, be confident because confidence is key. Confidence is the most attractive thing that you can have, and confidence equals success. So keep that in mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you learned something and that you can incorporate this into everyday life. This is for my Girl Scout Gold Award project. I'm really proud of this project, and I'm hoping that this will spread further and further because awareness about personal brands needs to be out there. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and just remember to love yourself.